It's just on the surface there. And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gym and the Crypto, episode 629. Today is Wednesday, December 3rd, 2020, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we are here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community Monday through Friday at 10-ish.
That's 10-ish Eastern these days. Wow, I mean, do I really need to say the top stories of the day, people? Top story and stories of the day. SEC unveils suit against Ripple, calling XRP a $1.3 billion unregistered securities offering. Ripple CEO Garlinghouse responds to SEC complaint against XRP. XRP price falls 24%, really like 30% from what I just saw in 24 hours as exchanges begin delisting. Abandoned ShipChain logistics startup torpedoed by SEC over $27 million unregistered ICO. Riot purchases additional 15,000 mining machines from Bitmain. And last but not least, Coinbase awards its first round of Bitcoin developer grants. But first and foremost, before we get into the madness of the day, let's go ahead and check out these prices.
Ooh, wow. So the crypto market is definitely taking a hit overall. But the biggest hits, we'll get into that. Bitcoin at 23,670, up 1% on the day. Ethereum at $610, down 1%. XRP, at 33 cents, down 30% in one day after the news that came out from the SEC, which we'll talk about later. Stellar, which usually follows XRP, is at 14 cents, down 13%. Chainlink at 1186, down 4%. Litecoin with a healthy correction at $108, down 1%. And last but not least, EOS at 267 is down 8%. I know we don't mention it much, but I do want to shout out Monero is actually the biggest gainer right now. Privacy coins, I keep telling people, it's hard to get Monero and it's hard to track it. So privacy coins will have a premium. Looks like Monero is taking off now with that 8% gain. But Jesus Christ, XRP. What is that?
I mean, much to go over. First,
this is 2014, 15 days, baby. We back.
Real quick, before you leave Monero, though, I was gonna say I agree with you. It would be crazy to see that like $1,000, $2,000 a coin, $3,000 a coin when it start getting real around here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Imagine if they do really crack down what we're gonna be talking about today on these crypto companies. You have to go to privacy coins. What happens if Monero's worth $20,000 a coin? It's going to be crazy.
Exactly.
Man. But like you said, let's go ahead and go to the top story of the day. I mean, it's no hiding it. My Alexa heard me. Pardon me, everybody. Technology these days. But SEC unveils suit against Ripple, calling XRP a $1.3 billion unregistered securities offering. Wow. First and foremost, I didn't catch the show yesterday, Bitcoin Day. I only caught like a split second, like a couple of tidbits. But I think within the show, and I'm pretty sure just knowing you, at some point you probably had to say "we told you so," right?
Yeah, I mean a little bit, but I didn't want to say too much. I told you so. It was more of a, we predicted this. We actually said in 2018. I'll find the video about SEC's biggest attack vector. Ripple's biggest attack vector was the SEC, and unfortunately, some people still consider XRP a cryptocurrency. I never did. So to me, this doesn't really affect the crypto market, so to say, because if you read the SEC report, a lot of the claims that they're making are not claims they made for EOS. That's not the claims they made for Ken or Kick. So this is not the same sort of crackdown. I don't think XRP will get away with a fine, pay it, and then get back to normal. I just don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, that was mostly what we talked about yesterday, and then some XRP people jumped in. Hopefully they will today, trying to defend it, but. It's hard to defend at this point, man. That's all I got to say.
Well, my thing was, whether it was a security or not, I wasn't even getting into the weeds of that. It was just a target. We always talk about having a target. You're a CEO. But first, I guess, let's go ahead and get into the actual story and what the SEC is coming after them for. It looks like here, let's see. The commission is alleging Garlinghouse, Larson, and Ripple have participated in unregistered ongoing digital asset securities offering to investors since 2013. It says the United States Securities and Exchange Commission has taken legal action, of course, against these people. These charges filed, I believe it was yesterday in federal district court in Manhattan. They allege that they classified it as a security, accused two executives of raising more than $1.3 billion, and so on and so forth. I think the main issue was that the kickback didn't come this year.
Yeah. I mean,
oh,
you
you thought Ellen was a part of the crew? You thought Ashton? No, special investigator. But no, seriously, I mean, Ripple was just one of those things where, again, they had a CEO, they had someone to go after based off of what they were going after with everyone else. They to me, it just kind of fell in place, like, and one of the things I never really did publicly was like, say, is this a security? Because no one's trying to put the heat their way, but since the heat's there, it is what it is at this point. Yeah. But no one's like really just trying to publicly say it. But yeah, behind closed doors, is like, how are they getting away with this and everybody else is getting like across the board hit with these same penalties? Again, I really thought that since they were working with banks, they probably were paying the right people to do the right things or whatever. And I guess the check stopped. I don't know. Or Ripple stopped being worth as much once the CBDC came around. As we said, maybe it didn't stop being as worth as much to investors on the retail side and even institutional side, but to the governments and banks, which they were supposed to be servicing, maybe they're worth a lot less. And we've seen that now, where that card was finally pulled. It was like, hey, we're good now. Thank you.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, the way I describe what happened with Ripple is sort of like if you have a house and your parents, you try to teach your kids, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. That house, the house of Bitcoin or crypto, whatever you want to call it, was everybody in the space called Ripple terrible because it was obviously a pump and dump scheme. You have a 60% pre-mine, you got 3 people on most of the supply, they're giving away supply to investors, and then they're dumping on the market on retail. It's very simple to see, easy metrics to follow. And like I said, if you have this house where you're trying to tell them that, when they go outside and the police get them for what you told them not to do, I don't like the police to do that either. But the SEC or the police in this, that's what happens when you try to self-regulate and they don't listen. Honestly, we don't need to go into too much depth about why XRP is bad. But if you want to go the simplest terms, cryptocurrency was made to get away from banks. XRP was created for banks. That's not a cryptocurrency. And I do want to share the screen real quick. Let me jump over here to the SEC report real quick.
Right.
Let's see if I got it up here.
And while you are listening, just know this will not be a Ripple bash. We were actually talking about this beforehand. Where I can speak for myself. I'm in the corner of Ripple on this one. I'll tell you why in a second, but go ahead with this report.
Yeah. And like I said, this isn't necessarily dump on Ripple thing because, again, this is government regulation is what we're trying to get away from. But you got to read this if you haven't. They sold over 14.6 billion units of XRP, worth over 1.38 billion. Because they never filed a registration statement, never provided investors with the material.
Hey, boss up, take the money. All right, that's
exactly. They never.
This is
number 2.
Like,
oh, you good? This is just number 2.
Yeah, leaving morals at the door, right? People doing
like, I mean, Jesus Christ, they created an information vacuum, Larson and Garlinghouse, so they could sell XRP into a market that possessed only the information they chose to share, which was, their marketing. It goes on. Let's see here. Number 6, Larson, current chairman of the board, orchestrated these unlawful sales and personally profited by approximately 600 million. Million. And I know
he got a pandemic relief package.
I know you didn't pay any taxes on this 600 million in XRP. And then it goes further and further into jurisdiction. It talks about them not being able to work in the US based on these laws. You have to read this, a 71-page file, but just read through it, see some of the things which make it obviously what we've been telling people. And we don't, again, don't want to just jump on everybody that's on it, but it's pretty much to me a waste of time to even think that, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy the dip on this and it'll come back one day. Litigations like this, if Brad is gonna fight it, take 2 to 3 years at minimum. So if you're gonna hold XRP another 3 years, have at it. But so much more activity going on, in my opinion. So I just wanted to make sure we shared that real quick. But
I almost was about to disagree with you when you said not to buy the dip. Right now, I want to consider this a dip yet too, because it's basically back at its price before Bitcoin started pumping to 15K. So I wouldn't consider this a dip yet. I think this is just going back to Ripple should probably still be at like 10 to 15 cents. Realistic.
Yeah. That's where I think it'll land. Right. This little dead cat bounce they got from 25 cent is not really going to sustain, and then it'll be another dump, I think. So.
But I was gonna say, so I was gonna disagree with you, but where you just changed my mind at is where you just said there's much more interesting projects. That's the thing to remember, people. Whether you love or hate XRP, right now as it stands with the SEC on their head, you're still ready to push the line with them. Like it's like you said, so many other interesting projects. That's the only thing. Is there's so many other places to park your money. Why would you want to park it in the place that's, I mean, who do you know that's been beating the American government at anything? I don't know that many people or organizations that really beat the American government at many things. So
99% win rate.
Right. Yeah. I'll keep that in consideration. But again, it's not going to be a full Ripple bashing today. We will get to the comments in a second, but I do want to talk about some of the facts of the story before we go to some of the next thing. As I said, Ripple in 24 hours, it fell 24%. At this point, it's already over 30%, which we saw today on the daily ticker. Several exchanges have already halted trading Bitcoins. Do you know some of these exchanges that have already delisted Ripple?
Oh yeah.
That's a boss move too. I mean, that's cutting ties.
Yeah. I mean, you have the BXC exchange, BEAXY. They dropped them. There was OSL, and then Cross Tower was another one. So those are the three that I read about. Yeah, and here we go now. Yep, those are the three: OSL, BXC, and Cross Tower. They've either stopped trading or removed it completely. I think this is just the beginning because this is a risk factor. If you list a security on your exchange and you're not listed, or you're not a registered securities exchange, you run the risk of being in court right after them because you're still selling this product. So it's not worth the risk for exchanges for one coin to take it. And in my opinion, most of the major exchanges are gearing up to do the same thing. I mean, what else is it on? Bittrex, Binance. We got a few other US type exchanges that I think if XRP gets delisted from Binance, if it gets delisted from Coinbase, I don't know. I don't really know how they're going to come back from that, at least not in the short term. But that is the trend right now. I talked about this in a clubhouse the day yesterday when it happened. I was like, yeah, the next step is delisting. This morning we wake up, delisting. The next step after this is bigger exchange delisting, and then we'll see what happens with the fight from there.
And see, that is what I actually don't want to see happen. And let's go to the story where it says Ripple CEO Garlinghouse responds to SEC complaint against XRP. Ripple CEO assures shareholders and the industry that the company will win the case brought by the United States SEC. That's a bold statement there. But what I want to talk about is the statements that were made by CEO Brad Garlinghouse again. The executive is confident that the regulatory action will have a snowball effect on the industry as a whole, potentially affecting major players like Coinbase and all of the cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ripple, Chris, and I may be the ones named in the filing, but this is an assault on crypto at large. In this case, XRP is a proxy for every other altcoin in the space. From there, you have a snowball effect. This isn't good news for any market maker. Exchanges like Coinbase, etc. This sets a terrible industry-wide precedent for any company working with a digital asset. I am in full 110% agreement and support with Brad Garlinghouse on this. Regardless if you love or hate Ripple, if you think it's scam or not, for this project, in this case, he is right. If Ripple goes down, I think it's going to set a very dangerous precedent to where crypto companies here in the United States and abroad not only will literally fear the United States government as far as what they can do in the digital space at this point, but also just start going toward Western laws. If we don't like this company, we don't like this coin, we don't like this CEO, you're gone. You're out of here. You won't be listed. Or if you want to get listed, you pay another $1 million to exchange like you've already been doing. You pay another $300,000 to the government and XYZ, whatever. But the point is they're trying to insert their clause into all parts crypto if Ripple goes down. So I'm with Brad on this one. I don't want to see them fall on this. I want to see them beat the SEC on this because if they lose, oh man, I mean, they got $1.3 billion of resources to fight. If they lose every company under that, which again kind of goes back to something we've been saying from day one, 90% of these tokens out there are crap coins anyway. But he's right. It will be a snowball effect. And I think it'll be to the point companies won't even wait for exchanges or the government. They're just about to take off. Money, it's going to be extra scams left and right.
Yeah. And I'm with you there because if Ripple's feeling the heat now and, if it goes through, even if it doesn't go through, just the heat that they're feeling and that price, let's say it goes down to 10 cents next year while every other coin is ripping, going. You think that's going to be the only one that the SEC investigates after a bull run? No, this happens every bull run. Right. Money gets investigated. Something's going to happen with regulators. We already saw like a proposed bill for self-hosted wallets, which was the corniest bill I've seen on cryptocurrency ever. It's basically every time you own a wallet, you need to get a banking license. What?
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. That was preposterous, if I must say so myself. So we're seeing these rules coming during the beginning of the bull market. I don't think this is, the rip, the blow off top, but definitely we'll see this more, in my opinion. January, when regulators get back from break, which is the 3rd week in January, or last week. Once they get back, we'll start seeing it just like we saw in 2018. Ripped it, and I just think it's just a continuation there. So the precedent that this sets is huge in this market, in my opinion.
And one thing I don't want people to forget either, the SEC is going through changes right now. People are coming in and out. We're getting a new commissioner. This new presidential administration coming out.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make changes, so it's like, oh, we left, like this is what we did for this place before we left, and they want to make changes when they come in, so they can say this is our stamp and this is our culture. I say that because as these times is over, the government's doing this turnover. Yes, they want to pin people on the wall. They're like, oh yeah, look at this $30 million one I brought in. Oh, I brought in this $1 billion one. I'm cashing out these old accounts, like Lonzo said in training day right now, right? They are making sure they're securing their future as well, whether it's in the private consulting world of cryptocurrency, or if it's another government position. This is part of the game too. So that's kind of the reason why you're starting to see all this happen at the end of the year. It's not just rappers they're backing up crypto companies at the same time.
Hey, Brad Garlandhouse, if you took Jay Clayton's girl, let us know now, because that might be the reason way out.
Conference. What happened at the conference?
I was saying
on the yacht.
And the thing is, what's crazy, people don't understand that high levels, stuff like that happens. And then
it really affects stuff like this.
It really affects, because honestly, when you get to higher levels, everybody has some level of dirt under their name to get there. The problem is exposing each other's dirt. When that comes out, or if people start getting in arguments, or if they don't like each other. Because Garlandhouse actually said this was an attempt by the SEC that seemed more personal than it did. I'm telling you, I'm joking.
Y'all want me to go there? Y'all want me to start?
I'm joking, but I'm not joking. Like, I honestly think at a conference, Brad Garlandhouse took Jay Clayton girl, or he made embarrass him in front of people, or maybe he showed him up at a conference like, hey, you can't do anything with me. And he's like, oh, word? All right, we're gonna see what's up with that 1.3 billion player. And this is what we're seeing now.
Hey, or let's talk about billions. Listen, Jeff Bezos, Oracle buddy, I forgot his name. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. These people have personalities. They're competitive too. Like, whoa, who's this dude who's the wealthiest person on the planet for 15 minutes from crypto? What? Oh, you think you're gonna do that twice? You think you're gonna do that twice?
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I already told you.
I'm about to drop dime on you. Okay, listen, something over here is a foul. Speaking of things being a foul, abandoned ShipChain logistics startup torpedoed by SEC over $27 million unregistered ICO. That title just has me laugh every time. CoinDesk, shout out to the title of that. The company name was ShipChain. As they say, they're torpedoed by the SEC. But here's the story we want to really talk about, because while this was bad, the SEC went after them. We also see this happening with a lot of kind of smaller, the mid-range companies that made money and kind of got away unscathed. It looks like supply chain startup ShipChain is taking on water fast. Okay, CoinDesk.
All right, CoinDesk, calm down.
Crazy. This is crazy. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission ordered ShipChain to cease and desist operations Monday and pay a $2.05 million penalty for violating securities laws in 2017. Again, I got this old account. Nobody's going to miss it. ShipChain, which had raised $27.6 million through its SHIP token initial coin offering ICO, agreed to the penalty and quickly settled the suit. For one, if you ever quickly settle suits, I mean, you got the paper on deck. You didn't even drag it out. Like, what? $2 million? Hey, tell them I'm going to send that tonight.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah, take that little bullshit.
What's going? I mean, so from my point of view, from this story, is like, hey, you did a $27 million ICO in 2017. You're getting hit with this at the end of 2020. If you kept any of that crypto, you should still be in the green. You should have enough to pay everybody back and still get away with a lot of money and pay that $2 million fine, which is why I'm assuming they quickly settled the debt or the suit. Yeah. But I mean, it's still interesting to see SEC's going after companies.
Yeah, I mean, the SEC is not letting up. They're not going to, simply because, like you said, these are notches on their belt. This is them saying, oh, I took down half the ICO market with blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I will say, people who may not know about ICOs, if you are sort of in the inside, the way that they make this money and then keep it is you raise it through an ICO. However, some of the investors are a part of the team because you can have, basically Ethereum wallet addresses that are unknown. So you invest into your ICO, you make 27 million. You have to pay the SEC 2 million later, but you have 2 or 3 wallet addresses that got those tokens that you already sold for Bitcoin worth maybe, I don't know, let's say 10 million out of the 27 that they raised. So really, they always come out on top in the ICO market. SEC just wants their money. So people have to understand that. This isn't people going to jail. Every ICO that got knocked down, Jamie Foxx, DJ Khaled, T.I., Floyd, none of them are in jail. They just said,
this is purely...
Seems like this is the mafia showing up and saying, you haven't paid this week. I'm either going to bust up your shop or give me my $10,000.
Hey, people get mad at me when I say gang, but
gang.
Like it. That's all I'm saying. Like
gang. They are in there. So it looks like
be ashamed if something happened to your business here, huh?
I know exactly. So ShipChain has sunk for one last pun because Coinbase used them all. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't familiar with this, but a lot of ICOs are on their list, and I think they're not finished with the ICO market. There are some they're still dealing with, but yeah, I mean, they're not even close.
Old accounts, they're about to be hitting from 2017. They're about to be hitting that until 2022, 2023. Like old accounts, it's gonna be ones like, oh, I forgot all about that one. Like, oh yeah, well we didn't. We was just waiting. Like old accounts. I want to give some shout outs since we didn't have a chance to do it earlier. Madam Crypto, Ola, Ryan James talking about Ripple said I bought the dip too early. It happens. Zuri 2011, Malik, what's going on? Crypto Q, Paul. There we go. Zuri said, I'm finally catching it live on time. There we go. Tessa Hall, Grand Rising, Tiffany from New York, D. Chiron. Oh, I don't want to mess this up. By Surayu Tujanine. Found Ripple. Changing the name to XRP is all the SEC needs to stop that scam. That is true. Hilarious. Bluefair, RIP, XRP. It was fun knowing you. We had some good times. Hey, that's the thing to remember, people. Ripple, Poloniex, it's all types of coins. I can't remember half of the top 10 coins that was there years ago.
Pascal coin, Prime coin.
It's a good ride when it happens. You make some rent money for the year and you get out of there.
Hey, you know what's funny that you said that? Anybody who made money in XRP, especially the people that follow me on Twitter, tell me how much you made, because everybody's like, well, I made some money from it. Yeah, rent money. One dude commented and said, I bought some J's with it, so it worked for me. Dude, that's what we're trying to tell you. Nobody made real money from it. You made your little.
Oh yeah. Yes, I kept it low. I didn't say like a house.
Nobody made no real money. Shut up. If you don't work for Ripple, you didn't make any real money. Introduce XRP millionaire who hailed through bull markets that they don't exist.
Yeah, I was just about to say the only chance that people were to make, because actually most of the Ripple money I could have made would have been up front on Kraken when they were doing the margin trading. Because they had that early margin trade. I do remember, but again, it wasn't nothing crazy. Like you said, it was some new J's or something. Somebody wanted, whatever.
Yeah,
right? It was nothing crazy. Because at the time, it was still like, who's going to dump that much money into Ripple?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody.
That makes sense. Hey, people talk that talk now. When that thing was less than a penny, you wasn't talking that talk then.
No. When it was 0.006 cents.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Nobody was
buying $100 worth. It was like, it may take off, but it wasn't nobody buying 10,000 worth of.
And there was 1,000 other coins that may taken off. Well, not 1,000, but literally was like a good 30 other coins that may taken off at that time, which some did, like Ant shares when it turned to Neo. That was around the same time. Ripple was less than a penny. Yeah. What's going on? Morph, RIP, Ripple. That was funny. Paul, RIP, Ryan James, Dang No Moon, P-Man Van, Paul, XRP 69, hilarious. Crypto culture. That, actually saying that's gonna be real funny if Ripple does go in there like, ho, slow down. We're gonna pay the fine. We're gonna tell you about 20 other companies that are just doing the craziest things you ever heard of. That would actually be a twist in the Bitcoin movie. P-Man Van said, a couple of my friends recently asked me if they should buy it. Ripple, it looked cheap to them. I told them not to. It's crazy. I had a computer scientist, a developer, actually called me up and or Instagram me, asking me about first the Bitcoin market in general, buying it, and then like you think Ripple's gonna go back to $3. I'm like, come on, man, like you know better.
Stop asking me that damn question.
And I told him, I was like, I didn't even answer. I was like, you know better. Like you do computer stuff. He was like, I know. I'm like,
the market psychology of thinking I'm going to get rich quickly off of XRP is hilarious because you have people who've never invested who ask about Bitcoin. You tell them it's the best money ever created, and then the next question is about XRP, and I'm like, I'm sorry, that is trash. But if you're a trader, do what you want, because trader, that's what speculation is for. But 90% of people are not traders, so don't even waste your time. But yeah, I mean,
and that's the difference right there, because there's a difference between buying XRP and just sitting on it and forgetting about it, and buying XRP and having an alert set, so when it does drop 7% at one time, it just goes to sell mode anyway, versus you just losing 30% of it, right? So
not a lot of stop losses this morning.
Right. And like you said, 90% of people didn't set a stop loss. They're not trading it. They just bought it thinking like, oh, it'll go from $3 another couple of weeks, probably.
No.
And what was actually crazy is that if I were actually Brad Garlinghouse and I worked for Ripple, if I was anybody who worked for Ripple right now, if you're listening, I would go on a PR marketing tear right now and just start pumping it. Pump it. Pay the SEC even more than what they won 200 million, give them 500 million. Tell them you got to
get another 5 billion.
You got, I mean, don't let them act. Just give them the money, but just keep pumping. Do like pharmaceutical companies do when they get sued. They come back out with more commercials for the same product. I think Ripple should just come out literally like, you aren't buying XRP yet. You're about to miss the bus or whatever. Just come out the most outlandish commercials to get people to buy. It'll be hilarious.
Oh yeah. They need one more pump for the investors to exit. So yeah, either this was it, the last one, or they got one more in them. We'll see.
I think they might have one more.
That's what I said. They might have one more in them. Brad might have one more. Turn on the engines one more time. Yeah. Let Bitcoin go crazy, and then all season commence, and XRP will hide behind everybody else's gains. So
the comments are going crazy. What's going on, Crypto Kid 216? Shout out to Crypto Kid, gentlemen. So good to see people that look like me in crypto, new to the space, looking forward to learning from your platform. Shout out. Be on it. Invest in what you know. I'll leave it at that. Dexter Hand Senior, Paul, XRP has always been trash. Marcellus Love, what's going on? PFC, Wells up track. Ryan James, I don't know how I'm gonna cope. I'm waiting for a mini pump to trade it for Ethereum or Stellar. I think Stellar still has life in it. So yeah, for people who do want to jump ship from Ripple, consider Stellar. But like at the same time, when Ripple go down, Stellar's definitely going down.
Stellar's following right behind it, man.
Right. Yeah, that's what D. Chiron. I just scrolled down. D. Chiron, shouldn't Stellar follow? Don't they have the same setup?
Pretty much. But XLM, remember, they're about to start being used by the oldest bank in the world in Germany. They came out last week and
that is right.
Said they were going to use Stellar. So I think that's probably propping them up. Plus Jed, who started Stellar, he created XRP, but he's not a part of it anymore. So Jed, it's kind of different, but it's pretty much the same.
Ryan James said the WEF will be using the Stellar Foundation for the 2021's Great Reset. All right, cool. Brandon Bailey, what's going on? He said he's been trying to tell everybody for years to stay away from Stellar. People are still kind of going back and forth with the dip. It doesn't, like you said, you never know. Let's see. Crypto Kid said Ripple's defense throw up. That's why I say you got to kind of watch them. They kind of already did it. XRP's Crypto Kid 216 said XRP's defense throw under. I can't even say what I'm laughing right now. Throw other cryptos under the bus.
Yeah, they said Bitcoin and Ethereum is controlled by China.
I guess the whole market's going to go down. We do.
They were like Bitcoin and Ethereum is controlled by China, but 95% of Ripple transactions are outside the U.S. All right, Japan. I see you over there.
Right. Great point. I like this. Blue Fix said, I don't know about that. This seems to be the last move made by SEC Commissioner Jay Clayton. Hopefully Hester Pierce takes over the SEC as she is crypto friendly. So she says. We have yet to see policy be enacted, but I'm with you on that, Blue Fit. You're right. This could be Clayton's, like you said, Bitcoin's a. Did he mess with his girl 3 years ago at a conference? Did he mess with, I look at her the wrong way. Exactly. So is this his crowning achievement? It may be. Jay Clayton is on his way out. Like I said, this may be the thing he's about to dump, just leave the SEC, the government with, thank you all for having me. I can come back to any position I want, and I might start a private company tomorrow. In fact, I might go work for Ripple tomorrow and help them get out of this mess they got themselves into. That would be crazy.
But I will say, as far as market cap and like change in price, I do want to say, if this sets a precedent and a bunch of other altcoins start bleeding out, guess where all that money's going? Right into Bitcoin.
That's true. Ooh.
So if you're talking about a real bull market, the price of Bitcoin right now should probably be double, because it's half of the entire market cap.
What if it happened inversely? The government wouldn't even see that coming. That would be
what I'm saying. They say, okay, well, if Ripple is a security, I think all altcoins could be. They don't even have to say it's a security. They say it could be securities. We're going to investigate. You'll see a huge dump. All that money will go to Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum, because they're the two that have been said are not securities. But either way, I mean, it's really all going to go back to Bitcoin, and the price may double in a matter of a couple of weeks, simply because all of that market cap is gone from altcoins.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm over here laughing at these comments. Bluefix at XRP is trying to be Nino Brown in the courtroom. Basically. I'm going down. It's gonna be a whole lot of people coming down with me. Oh, y'all thought I was the only one? No, I'm local. All right. Last couple of stories. Riot purchases additional. I don't know why I'm yelling. Riot purchases additional 15,000 mining machines from Bitmain. Looks like NASDAQ listed Bitcoin mining firm Riot Blockchain announced its purchase of 15,000 additional mining ASIC machines from Bitmain, pushing the total number of machines ordered by the mining company to be over 31,000 in 2020. I have to admit, I wasn't even following this story, and this is a United States-based company, right? What's going on here?
Oh, yeah. So Riot Blockchain, which is actually listed on the NASDAQ, they purchased 15,000 Antminers from Bitmain. It cost them $35 million. They have 3,000 S19 Pro Antminers and 12,000 S19J Pro Antminers. So we see who's buying up all the miners. With the latest purchase, they have expanded their total mining equipment from Bitmain, and the company is regularly receiving and deploying new miners in 2020. They have 37,000 miners total, and their operational hash rate has surged from 2.3 to 3.8 EHS. I can't remember which one it was. I thought it was petahashes. We moved to E's. Good gracious. So
it's happening so fast, right?
Yeah, I know. I remember looking at mining. I don't look at it much anymore, but petahash was like the standard that we're going to. We're past that. But the Riot CEO says that growth in deployed miners is paramount to a miner's success. And I also have seen comments on social media saying that 2021 will be the year for mining, simply because you have billionaires who want to take a part in the industry, but they don't necessarily want to buy the direct asset. They'll buy mining equipment, they'll set up billion-dollar operations, and they'll mine Bitcoin for the rest of their thing. So I think Riot took a huge step in the right direction, and their stock went up, I think, 14% in a day or 2 days.
And this is something I'm glad you mentioned the stock part of it, because this is a way, if you want to get into mining right now, if it's a good company, I'm not saying Riot is or isn't, I haven't done my due diligence, but they're a solid company. They're going to be around for a while. They're buying 15,000 Antminers. They seem like they have a plan, right? Mm-hmm. But you're right. If you don't want to invest in a miner yourself or try a mining operation yourself, since we know there's going to be a big business, bigger companies, you can't really do it on your own. Some of the mining pools and farms out there. This might be another way to get invested in mining, still get a return in mining, actually a higher return than if you were to try to go out on your own doing it. Yeah. And probably a lot less risk going through them. So actually it might be something I look at myself to take a peek on.
Yeah, I've seen some stock options traders who all they wait for is companies to either implement blockchain or to put Bitcoin on their balance sheet. They know that that stock is going to take off, just like Michael Saylor with MicroStrategy, Mass Mutual, Cash App, Square. It doesn't matter. Anytime they add Bitcoin or say blockchain, stock go up.
Yeah. Quick comment. Anita Ortega said XRP is part of the crypto world. It's sad to see the separation. We should want the best for all crypto. Now, I will agree in some part, Anita, that like we said, we don't want to see Ripple go down because it may be a snowball effect and set precedent. But the problem with things like Ripple and comparing it to all the crypto worlds, that some people will confuse things like Bitcoin with Ripple, when like Bitcoin, they already pointed out, Ripple is specifically made for banks, when Bitcoin was just made for just everyone. So we definitely gotta.
I mean, it's a weird case, because you do kind of want this to not happen to crypto, but is Ripple cryptocurrency? They've been kissing banks' ass since the beginning. So I don't know. This is what happens in banking. You get regulated.
And we kept saying that from the jump as well, from the point of trying to be friendly with these regulators and bankers and all that. What I keep telling people, I said that from the jump. I was like, all right. I was like, look, play that game if you want to. They playing a long game. You can be friendly as, because here's the thing too, you can be as friendly as you want with any regulator or any, you know, whatever person in the process that you think that by partnering with, even though it's not a part of the cryptocurrency community industry, will help your individual business thrive. The issue with that is that in 2 to 4 years, these are government and federal jobs. That position will rotate. And it's going to be a whole new person who might have a whole different philosophy and could come in like Jay Clayton doing like, oh, I ain't never met him.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know. You know, so that's the thing with that. All right, last story, but not least for sure. I want to end on a great news story. Coinbase awards its first round of Bitcoin developer grants. Shout out to Coinbase.
Oh yeah. All right, Coinbase.
What's going on here?
Oh yeah. So it looks as though Coinbase is trying to get into the good graces of everybody. And basically give away some of their
money back. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, let me give some money to Bitcoin developers. They have revealed that the inaugural recipients of its crypto community fund have received their cryptocurrency. The first 2 developers are Joa Barbosa and a pseudonymous developer 0xB10C. They were chosen by the fund's advisory board. It includes Stanford cryptography professor Dan Bonet and Bitcoin developers Anthony Towns, Felix Weiss, Amity Utterwar, and Carla Kirk Cohen. If you don't know those names, you probably want to look them up as far as Bitcoin developers doing great in the space. But yes, these people will receive the crypto community funds. And to talk about the people who are actually receiving it, 0x, the creator of Meme Pool Observer, he's working on software fork visualizer on Bitcoin's Signet test network. This tool could be used to monitor updates of the Bitcoin software, and he will continue to publish research and work on Bitcoin code review. Barbosa, who only just recently lost his funding from Bitmain, he's working on a user interface for Bitcoin Core that allows users to access advanced functions without having to use the command line, something that I had to use a lot when I first started. This will be very user-friendly. So it's good that they're giving away this money, but again, it's always, to me, the Nino Brown effect. You can't destroy a community to hand out turkeys at Thanksgiving and it's all forgiven. You know, this is cool, but you know, the things they've done in this industry, it probably won't be forgiven by hard Bitcoiners. And after they IPO, the people who are on Coinbase who are new, they'll see what we're talking about. To me, IPO is an exit scam for companies now. There's no reason to IPO unless you just want to cash out. And I think that with PayPal, with banks having custodian, they're feeling the heat. They're, you know, basically trying to put themselves in good graces. And as far as this crypto community fund, good for them. Hand clap. But again, yeah, it's Nino Brown handing out turkeys, man.
That's fair. Hey, that is fair. I can't. Hey, I
people are hungry, so somebody gonna appreciate it.
Yeah. This. Let's go to a couple quick comments we get. Let's see. Tiffany from New York said they don't get down with black and brown folk. F Coinbase. But then she also said the outages are ridiculous. Exactly. Yeah, the outages, they don't care what color you are. You got an account on there, you're not getting nothing.
Oh yeah, death tax and Coinbase going down. The only thing
right. Let's see. P-Man Van said they should give out funds to their developers to stop the outages during a dump or a pump. Yeah, but we all know, like we said, that's why we know it's not just happening, right? Because
that's not a mistake. Every other exchange is working and Coinbase goes down every time in a bull run. Not a mistake.
PFC Wells Track said that's why I'm messing with the Helium network for mining. So there you go. Helium network. I haven't checked it out, but Track, he's all in the space. He knows what he's talking about. So I would definitely check it out if you want to get some investments going in the mining side. Rashu also said, I got a few mining ETFs on my watch, but I still just been accumulating Bitcoin. There we go. You know, one thing I can say just from this year in general, because I'm not sure how our show dates are about to be for the next few days. But make sure you all stay tuned. We do have a special show coming up for you next week. We make sure we announce it, but we'll have some things going. But, you know, the one thing I'm seeing after this year is that it's still time. We are still in the early phase. And here's the good thing about what the government is doing right now. They're actually trying to still delay the proliferation of crypto and Bitcoin. And that's a good thing because you still have time to make a little bit more money, to buy a few more Satoshis at this point. We can't even say hold, Bitcoins left and right. Buy a few more Satoshis and continue to stack. Because I don't think the government's done. Far from over. Far from over. Even if the price jumps, I think something drastic will happen where at least for a moment, you'll get that flash crash. I'm not saying it'll last for weeks or months, but you'll have a moment where everyone will panic and that thing will drop. It'll be something like you said, where a law will come out and they say, hey, you need to register all your wallets, period. Or if you don't, you're going to jail. There's going to be something to really shake out the last few weeks.
The last few.
But you know what? Those weak hands will be institutions, though. There'll be an investment like, hey, you know what? That's too much risk for our people. These are our clients. There'll be some of them. But after that happens, I think we'll be in the clear. But I think we still get that big one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. Other than that, that is the show for today. Do you have any news?
No major news. BitcoinandBlackAmerica.com. Also, shout out to my grandmother. She turns 93 today. Wow. So shout out to her. Happy birthday. But yep, that's all for me. Happy hump day.
All right. Thanks for watching as always. And make sure you smash a like and share. And we will see you possibly tomorrow with some more crypto news. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. So we'll see what happens. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.